Okay, it seems like our number of viewers is still a bit low. So please do share it with your friends, anyone who is interested in the research path. So you can go ahead and just share this Facebook Live to your friends, and we will see you in another 2 minutes. Wait for more people to join us. Okay, good evening, everyone.
Hello, guys.
Are you someone who aspires to become a researcher, a scientist, a chemist? Or are you here because of a speaker that you admire a lot? Who might that be? So maybe because you have a lot of questions about the unknown, which is the research path.
Or just like us, or maybe you are considering this as your future career.
Yeah, well, even if you are just bored and happen to stumble upon us, you are more than welcome to join us and our beautiful and handsome panel in this forum sharing session brought to you by none other than ACS UTM International Student Chapter. My name is Roy, one of your moderators for tonight.
Hello, I'm Jia Jia, one of the moderators tonight. We are very happy and appreciate this opportunity to become a moderator in this sharing section. And also, we are very honored for the opportunity of having Prof. Dr. Hadi, Dr. Lee, and Dr. Lim as our speakers for sharing their valuable research path today.
Yes, I'm also very honored to have you with me tonight, Jaja. So before I proceed, kindly note that we will be having a Q&A session after the sharing. So please be ready with your questions. We will also be announcing 2 attendance codes in the comment section to fill in the attendance form later. So these codes will be announced anytime during the event. So please stay tuned. So we welcome anyone who is interested to join us. And we hope that this session will provide you with more knowledge and clarity about the research path and related future careers. So before diving into the discussion, I want to say again that we are extremely grateful and honored to be joined by our beautiful, handsome, professional, dedicated, respectful, experienced lecturers. I can go on and on. So first of all, we have Prof. Dr. Hadi Noor. So good evening, Prof. Hadi.
Oh, good evening, Roy. Yeah.
Yes, I believe a lot of students in the science faculty recognizes you. So let me give you all a brief introduction about our famous Prof. Hadi. So Prof. Hadi is actually born in Bukit Tinggi. He's an Indonesian, married with 3 children, and his expertise is in the materials chemistry and heterogeneous catalysis. So his research interest is actually in the advanced materials and heterogeneous catalysts. His research activities involve the integration of material science, heterogeneous catalysis, fuel cell science, and engineering in order to develop and characterize new materials for use in emerging technologies. So next up, let's look at Prof. Hadi's education background. So Prof. Hadi actually graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Chemistry from the Institute of Technology Bandung, Indonesia in the year of 1992. So he proceeded to get his Masters of Engineering in Material Science and Engineering from also the Institute of Technology Bandung, Indonesia in the year of 1995. Lastly, Prof. Hadi actually obtained his PhD in chemistry from none other than University of Technology Malaysia in the year 1998. Moving on, we have Prof. Hadi's achievements and awards. He was actually listed as top 2% world ranking scientist published by Bas Yaron in the year 2021. And he's also being rewarded by the University of Technology Malaysia Publication Award in the Center of Excellence category in the year 2021 as well. So these are actually just some of the many achievements and awards that Prof. Hadi has actually obtained over the years. So yeah, we are very honored to have Prof. Hadi here as our guest for tonight. So we will let Jia introduce the next two speakers.
Okay, our second speaker, I believe that all chemistry students should know her. She is an associate professor in Faculty of Science Chemistry Department and also a fellow researcher at the Center for Sustainable Nanomaterial Inusina Institute for Scientific and Industrial Research (UTM). Her expertise is in the area of heterogeneous catalysis and photocatalysis, mesoporous material, and solid material characterization. Dr. Lee has finished her BSc in Chemistry in 2000 and her PhD in Material Science in 2004 at University Putra Malaysia UPM. She has published 99 Scopus Index Journal article and her current Scopus H Index is 16 in 2018. She has received World-Class Professor Scheme Award from Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education in Indonesia. She also has received IKM Citation Award in 2013 and UTM Shine Award in 2015 as one of the most active young researchers in UTM. Now, Dr. Lee is focused in the nanotechnology and advanced material field. Her main research activities include the synthesis and characterization of nanostructure method modified titanium material as bifunctional catalyst and photocatalyst. Furthermore, she also involved in the development of lamella structure mesoporous bismuth-based material as oxidative catalyst. Please welcome our second speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Lee Xiu Ling. Hello, Dr. Lee. Long time no see.
Hello, Jaja. Hello to all of you. Long time no see. Yeah, thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
Okay, next, our last speaker. I am Dr. Ling Zhengxun. Good evening, Dr. Ling. Nice to meet you. It's first time
Hi,
to meet
Jaja.
Dr. Ling.
Yeah.
He's a senior lecturer in School of Chemical and Energy Engineering UTM, and he also is a vice director of Process System Engineering Central UTM Prospect. For your information, Dr. Lim is one of our alumni. He finished his BE in 2008 and PhD in 2013 in Chemical Engineering at UTM. His expertise and research area is innovative development and application of process system engineering technique for resource conservation and for energy and carbon planning. He has published 82 Scopus Index journal articles and his current Scopus H Index is 21. Besides his amazing research background, Dr. Lim also is very active in the industrial field. He is a certified country expert of steam system optimization and thermal energy efficiency and solar thermal energy integration under United Nations Industrial Development Organization. He also is a professional certified energy manager, certified energy auditor, accredited energy measurement and verification professional, and a registered electrical energy manager certified by Energy Commission of Malaysia. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a massive round of applause to our three speakers. Welcome, Prof. Dr. Hadi, Dr. Lee, and Dr. Lim. Without further ado, let's start our sharing section today.
Okay. Thank you, Jaja, for the introduction. So before we proceed to our most awaited first question for tonight, I just want to say that I love the aura that every respected and experienced guest is giving out here. It feels like I can actually learn and absorb so much knowledge and experience just by being here. Yeah, I believe everyone who is staring at the screen or listening to us feels the same too. So without further ado, let's begin our forum for tonight. So for starters, I would like to ask fellows, all of our speakers, so what are your current research topics? May I start with Prof. Dr. Hadi?
Okay, Roy, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening,
you,
everybody. Yeah. So I think that I need to explain a little bit about my background first. No, Roy, can?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure,
Okay.
Prof.
Yeah. Okay. I came to UTM as just mentioned previously as a PhD student in December 1995, yeah, long time ago. Yeah, and I have been with the UTM for more than, I think that now is 23 years. Yeah, and the project I'm measuring is material chemistry. Yeah, materials chemistry. At University of Indonesia. This is my PhD works under guidance of maybe you know Datuk Halimatun Hamdan. This is my supervisor. This project, the PhD project is about synthesis, characterization, and catalytic activity of the porous aluminum phosphate. And when I was a PhD student at UTM, the research facility is not like today. Yeah, I only use FTIR at that time. So all my samples sent to CIRIM and Petronas. You can imagine that the very limited instrument in our department, chemistry at that time. So and my project, yeah. I synthesize what we call is aluminum phosphate molecular sieve, yeah, VPI5. Yeah. But after 6 months, yeah, I working in the lab, I failed to synthesize that material. Yeah. And I changed a little bit my topics to the other material because it's very difficult to synthesize because the material is unstable. Yeah. So my PhD thesis is come from the 12 months, 1 year working hard at laboratory. Yeah. And I graduated a PhD with the several publication. And I also proposed at that time to synthesize the zeolite. Yeah, you know zeolite. Yeah, maybe you know zeolite from rice husk. Yeah, and from the rice husk ash at that time. And this is a very intense 12 months of work. And at that time, I finally found out how to work in science independently. Yeah. Also very tiring. This period is very exhilarating. Yeah. I completed my PhD in 2.5 years. Yeah. In 1998. That is my how to say my background. Okay, Roy, maybe this is at the beginning. Yeah, I explained a little bit about my topics is the material science in general.
Right. Thank you, Prof. Hadi. So next up, I think we can listen to your current research topics. Is it still material science
Yeah,
as well?
still in material science, but shifted a little bit on the biomaterial.
Ah, I see.
More specifically on the iron as the bond scaffold, and also heterogeneous catalysis. Currently, one of my PhD students focusing on the effect of an electric field on the heterogeneous catalysis.
That's very interesting. All right. So I think we will also like to listen to Dr. Lim as well. So Dr. Lim, can you tell us about your current research topic as well? Thank you, Prof. Hadi, for your sharing.
Okay, thank you, Roy, and thank you, Chacha, just now for introduction. So basically, my current research topic is on the energy and carbon planning quite similar to what I done during my PhD. So majority of my current work is evolved around developing different method and model to help the industry. And in some cases, we also apply the techniques to a community level, for example, in a national level, to help those end client to strategize and identify the most cost-effective solution to improve the energy performance without causing a negative impact to the environment. Because sometimes we know that there are many ways when you want to propose an engineering solution, but there's always some trade-off. Talking about that, for example, energy system, right? We have different options to generate the power, but with different technology, it will come with different setback in terms of cost, in terms of the land footprint, in terms of the material that you require, in terms of the impact that causing to the environment. For example, now it's a heat word, the carbon planning, everyone is racing to achieve net zero carbon emissions. So this is basically what I've done. And on another aspect, I also work with some industry, for example, palm oil mill and palm oil refinery, to help them to identify the possible way to integrate between their energy and resource system. So basically, we help them to identify like you have this waste product and what is the best way to utilize it and turn it into which energy sources or value-added product, and how do we integrate between different systems. So this is basically what we are doing on the analysis and the mathematical modeling. So in addition to that, currently I'm also working as a principal consultant for two national projects. One is actually to develop a national hydrogen economy blueprint together with Nano Malaysia and also Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Corporation. So yeah, there's one. And another one, actually working with the ministry to develop a national benchmarking tool for building sectors in Malaysia. For example, office, hotel, mixed development, university, retail building. Yeah. So this is basically what I'm currently working on.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lim. I
Yeah.
I heard a lot of things to do with environmental. Is it
Yes.
the environmental
Yes.
preservation and also so that is very very cool as well. Yeah, thank
Mm.
you, Dr. Lim. And
Yeah, welcome.
okay, so next up we would like to listen to Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee, are you there? Hi, Dr.
Yes, I'm
Lee.
here. Hi.
Yeah, can you tell
Hi.
us about some of your current research topics?
Yes, thank you, Roy and Jaja. Very nice to meet you again in this forum. So talking about my research here, actually, what I'm doing now is quite different from what I did for my PhD research. Okay, in my PhD, actually I did for the ionic conductors. Okay, but still material science. So I still doing something on the materials categorization. But now actually I focus more on the catalysis and photocatalyst. Okay, so actually I designed the catalyst for different applications. For example, for the environment, for the wastewater treatment, and also for the antibacterial applications, especially when we are dealing with the pandemic, you see. So actually, as when you talk about the research focus, I think is the shift depends on the demands of the community and also the nature how we're going to help community here. But anyway, I'm doing on the material science. All right, very brief from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lee, for your sharing. I believe that all of the doctors are actually doing something to, not something, but something big to actually contribute to our society in a way that is actually their expertise. So that is very cool to listen to all of this sharing, especially from Prof. Hadi, Dr. Lim, and also Dr. Lee. So actually, now we have another question for Prof. Hadi. So actually, why did you want to become a researcher in the first place? Like, was there any person who actually inspired you to do so?
Yeah, yeah. I first become interested in the chemistry one day. It's long time ago. It's 1980s. Yeah, when I was a high school student. Yeah. Uh, I am intrigued by the beautiful chemistry concept taught by my teacher, yeah, by laboratory demonstration at that time, yeah. One of the interesting experiment I remember that conducted in the classroom is the reaction between the sodium and water. So where the sodium metal is put into the water in a beaker, the intense reactions between the sodium and water cause the metal to ignite on the surface of water. That I still remember that. Wow, it's a very amazing reaction. This is one example of how chemical experiment can inspire students to become interested in science. I would like thanks to my teacher, yeah, at the senior high school, yeah. And this cannot be achieved without a teacher who have without the knowledge, yeah? And also highly dedicated to educating. Yeah. And the next important lesson comes when I was a student of the chemistry department at the Institute of Technology Bandung in Indonesia. And my final project, I was guided by the Dr. Haryoto, yeah, who at the time was a director of the Center for Nuclear Engineering Research. Yeah. And Dr. Haryoto is interested in the neutron activation analysis, yeah, techniques. And I working with the nuclear reactors at that time. Yeah. So just beside our university, we have the nuclear reactors, maximum 1 megawatt. Yeah. This is a very old nuclear reactor, was established in 1965. So this Dr. Haryoto that make me, interested in the chemistry, in the science. Yeah. And it was who inspired me to continue my postgraduate studies at that time. Okay, Roy. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Hadi. Prof. Hadi, have you actually tried other metals on the water as well during that time?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting to know actually what inspired Prof. Hadi to become what he is today. So let us also listen to Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee, are you there? Yeah,
You're talking
Dr.
to
Lee.
me, right?
Yes, Dr.
Okay,
Lee.
I think the story is about the same with Prof. Hadi. Actually, I love chemistry when I study in Form 6. Okay, I study for the STPM at that time, more than 20 plus years ago. Okay, I still remember my teacher, Bon Sim. I think if compared to other subjects, okay, especially biology, I really prefer to study chemistry, which is more interesting especially when I do the lab work in the lab. Okay, but I had to kill the small animals in the biology lab. Okay, I think it made me the difference. Yeah, and after my STPM, actually, I have my first choice to study in UPM at the time. Actually, that time it was recognized as UST Pertanian Malaysia. Okay, my first choice there. But after that, within 1 year, it changed its name to UST Putra Malaysia. Okay, I think you can check back when I graduate that. So actually at that time, when I did my final year project, I took 3 years course there at that time because they want us to graduate first to have more manpower in the market. So my course is only 3 years. So in my third year, when I did my final year project, actually I did it under Professor Dr. Lee Chong King, all right? One of the most strict lecturer in the department, very, very strict. Okay, but I think by luck, I did it under her supervision, and that time I did for the absorption process. Okay, absorption process for the wastewater treatment again. So after my final year project, I straight away, yeah, because I got quite good results. Okay, so I continue my PhD study under her supervision again. But this time she gave me another project dealing with ionic conductors. So you can see actually one lecturer can have different projects for different fields as well. So again, I think she was the person who inspired me
All right. Yeah, I think
the most. Okay,
okay.
to love. That's all. Yes, that's all from me. Thank you, Roy.
Thank you, Dr. Lee, for your sharing. Now we understand a little bit more about Dr. Lee now. So last but not least, let us hear from Dr. Lim. Dr. Lim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if there's one common thing I can share with Prof. Hadi and totally is actually I was sold by my Form 6 teacher as well, which is a chemistry teacher as well. So I remember that he actually saw us the vision, like for example, Singapore, Singapore, our neighbor, their chemical engineer actually producing the new water from the, if you know what's new water, right? They turn the wastewater into
Yes.
something drinkable, into a water quality. So he actually encouraged us to take on the subject. Okay. Yeah, back to the time I enjoy chemistry. So, and I think I love engineering as well. So I decided to enroll into chemical engineering. And the thing is, when I come into UTM, then only I realized that, okay, in chemical engineering, right, actually the chemical is only the 6 credit out of like 100 plus of credit. It's only like 5% over the, so it's more like chemical engineering, So it's actually more like focusing on dealing with the process. So to be honest, up until today, I didn't see myself as a researcher. So most of the time, I see myself more like a consultant, trying to help industry to solve their problem, helping them to reduce the energy consumption and carbon footprint. And anyway, who inspired me to do so during my university? I was again sold by the vision by one of my lecturers during my undergraduate study. That time I was taking in UTM, right, chemical engineering program. I was taking the process integration class that time. And I'm deeply enticed by the idea of how we solve the industrial problem using the technique developed by their team. And it's amazing to see how we can actually help industry to save millions of dollars of their energy utilities by applying some systematic technique. And yeah, eventually he supervised me for my PhD work. And I think his name may be familiar to many of you. He's actually Professor Zainuddin. If you know who is Professor Zainuddin, he's actually the previous Deputy Vice Chancellor of Economy and International for UTM. So along with my another supervisor, Professor Sharifa, they have actually created many opportunities for me to involve in various consultancy projects during my PhD study. And until today, we are actually still working very closely. And in fact, we are the co-founder of one of the UTM spin-off company, Optimal System Engineering, which we provide engineering solution to the industrial community. And last but not least, the other person I think who inspired me a lot is my another supervisor, Prof. Haslinda. So she exposed me to the other dimension of my research, which is on the carbon and also energy planning for the regional level, for example, country or city. So with her support, I also fortunate to involve in several high-profile projects, even during my PhD, for example, developing the low carbon blueprint for Iskandar, Malaysia, and then DPKL. So in short, I'm very thankful to all my supervisors. Without all of them, I cannot stand here where I am today and sharing all this experience with you. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Lim. So as we can see, right, it's actually all inspired, all of our doctors are actually inspired by their doctors, by their professors, by their supervisors, their professors, and it seems like the Form 6 teacher is also very, very important. Yeah. So also do look up Optimal Systems Engineering Syndrome Bahat. Maybe you guys are interested. Okay. So I think I will pass the question, next question to Jia Jia.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. The lecturer and the teacher is very important. It's very quite lucky to meet the kind of lecturer. Okay, as Roy has mentioned about the current research topic, now I want to ask about what are some of the most challenging research topic. I believe that everyone can't wait to know about your answer. So I think we start with Prof. Dr. Hadi.
Okay. Most challenging research topic. Yeah. Currently, my PhD student working on the investigation of the effect of the electric fields, yeah, on the catalytic reaction. And if we look at the literature, yeah, it's only very limited paper reported on this topic. So the problem is, if the very limited paper reported on this topic in the literature, the problem is that this kind of research is difficult to publish. Yeah, since that only several groups in the world working on this, and but I still insist to do this kind of research there. And for this, my PhD student, I need to design a special reactor for her. That is a challenging research topic. But we need to think about the choice of the research topic yeah, for our PhD student. Okay, later on, I will explain this if you ask about this. Okay, so only this for the example for this question. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Hadi. Well, it's very difficult to become a pioneer. I know. Okay, next we move to Dr. Lim. How about you, Dr. Lim?
Yeah, I think for me, right, never an easy research is easy, to be honest. Okay. Just like the name itself, right? When you say research, what does it sound to you? Repeating searching, right? So doing research is actually it's never easy, you know. Talking about you have to start doing by literature review, you have to searching what are the gaps. And especially for my field, what we are doing is less on the fundamental, but more on applied engineering. So it's very critical for us to obtain some data from industry. So for me, the main challenge is actually to get the data from industry. Okay, because with their data, they only, for example, we can actually develop a very good mathematical modeling to help them to optimize the system. But again, at the end of the day, a model is just a model. If you throw the rubbish in, you will come out with rubbish as well. In order to generate a quality result, you have to provide a good data. So it becomes a challenge for us because for industrial, when they provide a good data, they expect something in return, and they don't like their data to be shared with the community due to the competitive reason. Okay. And in that case, it becomes very challenging for us to publish their data. And then we have to modify the data and so on and so forth. So I would say that's actually the most challenging aspect of my research. And so we are currently still learning and how to dealing with the company. Yeah. Okay. Jia, over to you.
Wow, that's very because I also have searching their website. There's some company website. Oh my God, it's very difficult to find some data. I understand it. How about Dr. Lee?
Yeah, I think I share the same idea with Dr. Lim. Actually, as you know, we are talking about the translational research, so we have to deal with the community. So actually, as you know, we are doing the research. Most of us are doing on the fundamental research. All right, but But when we deal with the industry, actually, we have to shift a bit for the application part. So we have to learn a lot about the how to get the applications, not only fundamental research. So again, we have the problem dealing with the confidential issue, even though it's quite difficult for us for the publication to share the data and then to have the IP in the end of the project. And I think I want to share one of I think your question is about the most challenging research topics. Yeah. Actually, as you know, I'm doing something related to the catalyst or photocatalyst for the antibacterial application. So actually, I'm doing with something which is new to me for the biochemistry side. So during that pandemic, actually, we do not have the good facilities yet, even for the antiviral. So actually, I requested, we tried to get the help from the ministry, okay, to get the antiviral testing. But in the end, it didn't work. All right, we sent the sample to overseas, but again, due to a long queue, we are not able to do the testing at the time. All right, so this project, actually, I got the funds from the ministry, but in the end, we are not able to do anything during the pandemic. So this, I think, we will have some difficulties. But we still need to overcome it. So I modified it instead of virus, so I changed to antibacterial. So due to some reasons behind it. So some of my students are still working on this part for the project on the antibacterial photocatalyst design. All right, that's all from me. Jaja, I pass back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Yeah, it's quite benefit for the antiviral. So next, we have another question. Is what is the difference between the undergrad
Okay, I think Jaja has lagged a bit, so I will continue her question. So actually, Jaja meant to ask, what is actually the difference between like undergraduate FYP and PhD research topic? So can we have a listen from Hadi?
Yeah. So this is very different, yeah, because for the undergrad, master, and PhD, this is in different levels, yeah. And undergrad is only to make the student awareness about the research. This is the intention for the final year project. So the student know how to perform the experiment and make the problem statement. They can finish in 2 semesters. And for the PhD is different. You need to have the novelty in your research. Yeah. That is a big difference. So the outcome is also different. Yeah. For PhD, for example, in UTM, you need to have the publication in order you to prove that your research is new things or your research is have the quality. That is the difference. And the times also is different. For PhD, actually from the 2 years or 3 years up to 7 years. So you can see that the difference in terms of the how to say the depth, of the research, and also the research framework itself. Okay.
Thank you, Prof. Hadi. So we can see that the PhD can actually take a long time to actually complete. So can we also hear some, maybe Dr. Lim would like to add something to what Prof. Hadi has just said?
Yeah, I think Prof. Hadi basically has summarized the key difference between the undergrad and also the PSM project and also the PhD. And for me myself, just now you were asking about the undergrad between the final year project and also my PhD, right? Current research topic. So throughout my my PSM until even now, PhD, and even now until now, still my research mainly involve utilizing the computational tool to conduct analysis and optimization, to propose various solutions to the community, to industry. Personally, I think I'm allergic to experiment. So if I hold on any apparatus, I think I will screw it out. So that's why I don't think experimental work is something that I like to do. I prefer to hold, the mouse and also the keyboard. Yeah, that's all from me, Roy. How about you?
Thank you, Dr. Lim. Dr. Lim is very, very humorous. But yeah, thank you, Dr. Lim, for his sharing. So yeah, we can see the difference between like the experimental and also like the more towards the computer, I guess, like more towards handling the data. Is it the more of the data and also the computing side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Analysis using
Analysis.
computational
All right.
analysis.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Lim. So does Dr. Lee have anything to add regarding this?
Yeah, I want to say something.
Okay.
Final year project, yeah, actually, I've said that final year project students will have a lot of guidance from the supervisor. Actually, we will give the title, the research scope to the students, okay, for the final year project. So there was spent, okay, not more than 2 semesters, yeah, maybe just 1 semester plus to do it in the lab, maybe just 4 hours per week. I'm not sure, depends on your project's nature. But for PhD, actually, it's quite different, as said by Prof. Hadi just now. Actually, for a PhD student, he or she will be given about 1 semester, 1 whole semester for the proposal writing. So at this case, actually, as a supervisor, we will give him a scope, and then he have to search for the novelty and come up with a good proposal for his project. So he has to be learn to be more independent and try to identify the problems and get the solution to solve the problems. I think this will be the major difference between the final year project and the PhD project. Definitely the duration should be different as well. All right, I pass back to you, Roy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. I believe a lot of our listeners will have a better understanding of the difference between PhD and also the final year project. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Jaja, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about the internet.
Okay, that's okay. I think I will still continue with the questions. Okay, so the next question we are going to ask is what are actually some of the difficulties that doctors have actually faced in that period of time during your research, and how did you actually overcome it? Like, are there any like very significant difficulties? Like very, very significant difficulties. Like, okay, so let's listen to Prof. Hadi.
Yeah, the most difficulty is that if you don't have any research grant, you cannot do research. We are in the field of the chemistry. Yeah, we need to buy chemicals. Yeah, and also we need to have the equipments. Yeah, that is the most important thing in doing research in chemistry. But if you look at the theoretical chemistry, no need. So it depends on the fields. Yeah. And that is the most difficulty at the current time, because the budget is very, very limited. That is, I think that the most important things that we need to solve, yeah, in the chemistry fields. But for example, computational, yeah, it's no need, yeah, because you need only have your computers, yeah, computers only. That is, I think that me and Dr. Lee, we need to have the special equipment to do research. Okay, Roy? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Hadi. So before we actually continue with the next speaker, I would like to announce that the first attendance code is actually pinned in the comment below. So this code will actually be used in the attendance form that will be filled by students and also listeners for your e-certificate, and also for UTM students, your merit marks. Okay, so be sure to fill in that in your attendance form, or else you won't be having your e-certificate or merit marks. Okay. All right, so let me continue. Okay, so just now Prof. Hadi actually said that the research grant is actually a big problem in research. So I would like to listen to Dr. Lee as well. So do you have anything to add to what Prof. Hadi has actually said about the difficulties, significant difficulties, and how to overcome it?
Okay, yeah, I think these two issues, yeah, the lacking of the instruments and the grant, I think they are faced by most of the researchers, especially in the past 2 or 3 years back here. But for the instruments, actually, we can overcome it by doing the collaboration with other researchers from other institutions. Yeah, that's what we are doing now. And for the financial, yeah, there's a big problem, especially that when we are giving the allowance to our PG students, our postgraduate students, yeah. So we try hard to get more grants from the private sectors. Okay, that's why we are doing the research with the industries. This is our direction. All right, but yeah, we try to get more from the international grants as well. We try best, and when I talk about the most difficulties, yeah, you let me recall back my students' attitude. Okay, because as you know, people can have many types. Yeah, I remember one of my PhD students from other country. Yeah, her attitude is very bad and it's very scary. But anyway, I think it's a very good experience to me. She has graduated in the end. Okay, but I think yeah, this is something that we are facing, especially when we are dealing with different students, and we try our best to get them. All right, no more other issue from me. Thank you, Ryan. Pass back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Actually, I am kind of curious, like what that student actually did in the past that leaves such a huge impact on Dr. Lee.
Okay. I tell you that actually Prof. Hadi knows her, yeah. Prof. Hadi, you know her because she's from Prof. Hadi. Okay, actually, she's quite how to get
Maybe just a general thing so that our listeners can
yeah. So when she could not get the results from her experiments, she will come to my room and say, "I want to kill you," something like that. Okay, very scary. All right, There's a small story from me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Does Prof. Hadi want to add something to that?
No comment. That this is yeah, attitude. Yeah, this is most important things. Yeah, and I need to stress about the intention. Yeah, the intention of the students to do research. That is very important. If you just do research because of the certificate, I think that's not good. Yeah, that is the most important thing, the intention.
All right, thank you, Prof. Hadi. And the little story that Dr. Lee actually shared with us. So can we listen to Dr. Lim about this as well? Do you have any PhD students with the attitude problem as well? Maybe you can share with our so that they can take note and actually avoid those attitude problems that might actually cost their future.
Well, I cannot be more agree to Prof. Hadi and also Dr. Lee just now about the student attitude. I think even I myself, I've been through it. I feel myself quite lost actually during my PhD study. There are several times, one part is actually at the beginning part of my PhD student study life. So despite being very close supervision by my supervisor back then, I still feeling lost at the beginning stage. So after repeating searching for few months, okay, finally I was given the opportunity to involve in an industrial consultancy project, which then we actually help a national rice company to design a cogeneration system. It's actually an energy system for them. And throughout the project, I learned about their constraint facing by them in terms of their supply chain and their waste product. So after that, my supervisors and I decided to realign my PhD's direction towards that project. So my PhD research project went well after that. I mean, comparing to the earlier stage, but still, I think at the middle of my PhD again, I think it was in my third year or so, I actually went missing in action for about 1 year. Yeah, that's why you see it took me about 5 years, right, to complete my PhD study. Okay, so 1 year I actually went missing. So, and I gone and to work on my personal interests. Okay, again, back then, I'm very fortunate enough to have 3 very supportive supervisors who didn't give up on me on those difficult periods. They are still keeping in touch with me from time to time, sending me the message. Yeah, sometimes I did reply, sometimes I didn't. But well, at the end of the day, I managed to complete my PhD. And here I am today giving a sharing to you and telling you what not to do for not being a PhD student. Yeah. So, right.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lim. So I actually found out that you can actually take like a gap year or so while doing the PhD, is it? Or is
You
it?
can, but actually my time is actually unofficial. My time is unofficial. I didn't apply any, but you can official apply one.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
if you wish to. For example, you can plan it for 1 semester or 2 semester, but of course there are certain limitations.
all
Okay.
right. Thank you so much, Dr.
Yeah.
Lim. I believe that
So
is
Roy, you already planning for a holiday?
No, not
You
yet.
already planning a honeymoon for your PhD?
No. Maybe. Thank you,
Okay.
Dr. Lim. All right. Actually, I would also like to ask, like, how long did it actually take for each of the doctors to finish a certain research? Like, what are the longest and the shortest period of time? Maybe. Can Prof. Hadi tell us something about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I mentioned just now, because the research we carry out at UTM is depend on the research grant. Okay, so the research grant, there is a duration for the research grant. So we need to finish the research during the research grant duration. For example, that FRGS from the Ministry of Education. This is 1 year to 2 years. You need to finish that based on our proposal. So just now I already finished the research project LRGS, long time, long I have to say long duration. This is for five years. So it's the answer is that the time to finish the research is depend on the duration of the research grant. But if you have focusing on the one field, for example, Dr. Lee is a photocatalyst. I know one of the very famous professor, Professor Domen from the Tokyo University. He did the similar research, start from his PhD until he retired. Only the photocatalytic water splitting. You can imagine that during his PhD project, he carried out research with the materials just a quantum efficiency 3%. So he do a lot of the experiment with so many materials. Until last year, he published the material can have the quantum efficiency almost unity, that is the 100%. So you can imagine that the duration is very, very long. It's not depend on the duration of the research grant. I think that that is we can learn from that is Professor Domen experience that we need to focus. So he's very, very famous. Yeah. If somebody said the photocatalytic vector splitting, refer to the Professor Domen. Okay, Roy. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Sorry
Hadi.
for interrupt. But I'm very
Yes.
curious about what's the research grant and then how to apply it. I think most of us is very curious about this.
Yeah. For example, that UTM, yeah, every year they open for the research grant. Yeah. So the lecturer can apply for the research grant. Yeah. To get the research grant, we need to have the proposals. Yeah. For example, that for the young lecturers, there is also research grant up to 20,000 ringgit. But for the big research grant, you can apply through the Ministry of the Education, for example. Yeah. 5 years ago, I got just finished last year. It's 1.5 million ringgit. Okay, so it's depend. Yeah, depend on the source, and also depend on the kind of the project. There is a big project, for example, that our vice chancellor I think that he applied for the research grant from Japanese government. This is around, I think, more than 10 million ringgit. So you can imagine that it's a very big project. Yeah, there is a big project, and the sub project is small project.
Wow, that's very big money.
There's a lot of
Why?
money involved.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chacha, for the question. So, does any of our doctors would like to add as well? Maybe Dr. Lim, on the research grant, and also maybe something you would like to add on this.
I think Prof. Hadi has summarized out very well. And just one thing, Prof. Hadi mentioned about the research duration. He gave a very good example of researcher which the research topic can be evolved over the time. So one thing we must understand that research is also very competitive. The moment whatever you think that you want to do today, most likely in another corner of the world, there are some researchers going to do the same thing as well. So it's quite normal that when we're doing something and we want to publish or something, and we may find out that, oh, okay, actually someone else already did a similar thing. So when it came to the time, then you may need to think about, is there anything that we need to improve or adjust so that we can actually do something different or do it better than the others? So again, that's why it's become very dynamic, the entire things. And yeah, that's all I want to highlight. Roy?
Thank you, Dr. Lim. Okay, so just now, Prof. Hadi actually mentioned about the famous professor who actually conducted the photocatalysis. Is it the photocatalysis, right?
Yeah.
So I think we would like to also listen to Dr. Lee, since her expertise is in this field as well. Dr. Lee, do you want to add anything on this?
Yeah, just a little bit here. So when we talk about the project duration, yeah, basically it's based on the project duration. I mean the grant, yeah, what we have written in the proposal, usually 2 or 3 years. But most of the time, we will extend the project. I mean, after we have finished one project, usually we will further improve our materials by come up with some modified ideas in our new proposal. So I think it's quite common. And with that, actually, we still doing on the white senior things, you see. So I don't think that's a very clear timeline for us when we want to finish one project. You see, when I talk about the photocatalysis, actually we still doing all the like linear, and I keep modifying it for more than 10 years. So So it's never ending to me. All right, pass back to Roy. Thank you.
Yes, it is just as Dr. Lim said, it's a repeating searching, repeat searching, repeat searching. Okay.
Yes, for the best.
Yes, yes. So actually, I would also like to continue asking Dr. Lee about something. So have you been through times that you want to give up during your research? And what actually makes you persevere until today? Just like you mentioned, like it has already been 10 years since you have been researching into this. So Dr. Lee, do you have anything to say about this?
You asked me, have I ever thought about the give up? And no, the answer is no. To me, yeah, doing research is very interesting to me, and it's part of my life and a part of my job here. So by doing the research, I gain a lot of new knowledge, and it's quite important when I do the lecturing to my students. So to me, it's something interesting. So I never thought of give up. So maybe you can ask our other speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. How about Prof. Hadi?
Yeah, this is a very good question. That for me, that because of my intention, yeah, for me that the scientific research is enjoyable. That is the most important thing. Of course, it seems difficult when the progress is slow and there are no result of our efforts. Yeah. For example, they fail at the experiment. Yeah. Maybe you have the serious mistakes. Yeah. And also, but the very important is that the joy that come from making a new unexpected discovery cannot be compared with any others. It's like climbing a long step mountain path. Yeah. So you reach the ridge top, you can see the cloud parts, and you are greatly moved by spectacular landscape that appear before you. You can feel that you can enjoy. And that is, I think that we need to have that the scientific research is the enjoyable. Like you finally reach the top of the mountain. That is right.
Thank you, Prof. Hadi. I think the sense of achievement that Prof. Hadi actually said just now, yes, and also the intention is very important in when you're doing research, right? So, Dr. Lim, do you have anything you? Oh, sorry, Prof. Hadi, do you want to add more?
No. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Prof. Hadi. Yeah, Dr. Lim, do you want to add more on this?
Nah, it's fine. I think just now I already shared, right, during my
Alright.
PhD time. That was
yeah,
the
yeah.
only time I feel like give up during my PhD. So it somehow after PhD, it somehow that my eyes being open, and my brain being triggered. So I don't know, maybe being brainwashed by my supervisor or whatsoever, but it feel like it opened out a new world for me. So after that, I think, yeah, I feel like Prof. Hadi, to cut it short.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lim. That's very, very funny. Okay, so I think I will pass the next question to Jaja.
Yeah, I'm wondering the situation. Were you very tired, but using our interest as our career? Because some of my friends is become a designer, and they will say there's the designer is the interest, but it's very tired to become a job. How about your opinion, Dr. Hadi?
Retired, yeah. It's go back to the intention, yeah. Because I said previously that if you enjoy with your job, I think there is no problem. But if you not enjoy, I think better to quit. So that is a very, very important in life. You need to search the happiness. Yeah, you need to search the happiness. So I enjoy my works as a researcher at UTM. So that is make me preserve until now.
So apart from the intention and focusing, so how about the time management? Because three of our speaker is a lecturer in the UTM. So how do you manage your time as both a researcher and a lecturer? So we start with Dr. Hadi first.
Yeah, I think that we have the many platform. Yeah, that is the keyword is a time management. Yeah, so if you look at my website, you have see my Google Calendar. That is the time management. So I'm not only researchers. I'm not only the um, lecturers, but I also have the administrative post at UTM. So you can see that every week I have the meeting. So we need to have the time management. We need to, how to say, relax. Yeah. For example, that after the during the noon, yeah, you need to sleep, yeah, to refresh. You refresh your mind, yeah, and also you need to exercise. That is, I think that we need to think about the, how to say, to control the time, yeah. So we need to control the time working, and how to say, the work balance, yeah. Work, apa namanya tuh?
The work-life balance, is it?
Work-life balance, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that is.
Wow. So a work-life balance is very important. Do you want to add more, Dr. Lim? Because you are I think you are very active in the industrial field as a consultant.
Yeah, so just how you mentioned about your friend saying that designer is very busy, is it?
Yeah.
You mentioning, yeah. Your friend mentioned that because she haven't been to a lecture. Wait until she become the lecturer, then she will know what is the definition of busy. And to be honest, right, how do I manage the time? I'm still learning on that, actually. Being a lecturer is not that easy, as many of you has been taught, like Prof. Hadi mentioned, right? Especially when you are working in a research university, for example, in UTM, where you are expected to deliver the research output along with consultancy project, apart from the routine teaching tasks. It's not about teaching only, okay? And like Prof. Hadi mentioned, admin tasks. And not to mention, we also have to involve in other activities. Many of us thought that research is about doing experiment only or working in front of your computer to produce a result. But in the actual spirit, research is also about to communicate the results to the wider audience, to the other research communities and industry. So to do that, we also have to involve in other research activity. For example, we have to organize and presenting in a conference. I just did one back to, I think 1 or 2 months ago, International Conference of Low Carbon Asia. I was the editor for that conference. So you can imagine we had to handle hundreds of articles, processing and review. It's actually quite tiring. And at the same time, from every few days, we also receive the invitation from the different publisher to invite for the review, the papers. So not only you have to publish your own paper, you also help to provide input to others by comment on their research paper. And apart from those research activities, right, we even have to attend some student activities, you know, over the weekend, right? Just like today, right, Jaja and Roy, as part of the corporate social responsibility. So Roy and Jaja, if you want a relaxed job, I think being a researcher and lecturer in a research university may not be that appealing to you. But if yourself who enjoy challenge like Prof. Adi here or totally here, right, like to solve the problem or like to having a dynamic working environment, then I would say researcher is basically a perfect job for you. Yeah, Jia.
Wow, very open my eye, open my brain. It's very it's very like
It's
there's
very
a
admirable.
lecturer. Yeah, the lecturer is become a lecturer is also not easy. How about you, Dr. Lee? Do you want to add more?
Yeah, as you said, not easy to be a lecturer plus researcher. I said that we are multitask. Okay, and 7:24. Okay, for as you know, we have to do lecturing. We have to mark the students' homework, the test, all the assessments. We have to guide the students, final year project students, postgrad students in the lab, okay, and also be a reviewer as said by Dr. Lim, and maybe admin post like Prof. Hadi. We have to lead some activities in the departments, okay, as instructed by our post day. Of course, which is not mentioned by our two speakers, is we have to spend the time with our family. I have 5 children. One of them is only 3 years old. Okay, so today he's quite nice.
Totally, I only have one children. I only have one kid. I'm better than you in that case.
Okay, yeah, younger, much younger. All right.
So
At my
what?
age, I
So
have
that's why
5
your time
children,
management is
and
better than mine.
one
You have a
is
better time
still
management than
baby.
me.
Not really. I'm still learning like you. Okay, we try to do the best to our students and to our family. Yeah, okay, and I said that yeah, we should have better work-life balance. Yeah, for our help as well. All right, I pass back to our Jaja.
Wow, Dr. Lee is very busy. The work-life balance is very important. So I will pass back to the Roy. Roy.
Yes, yes. Very, very interesting conversation we had just now. Wow. So I think I would like to ask about I would like to ask Dr. Lim and also Dr. Lee about this. So actually, what are the sources of income during the research work? Like we know that we need the research grant to in order to do research, right? So what are the other and I also know that you actually work with industrial workplaces in order to do this kind of research work. So actually, what are these the only sources, or are there others that we didn't know actually? So can we listen to Dr. Lim on this?
Yeah, right. So, likely, Roy already point out. So, apart from typically for research grant, most of the research grant, we actually didn't take any salary for most of the research grant. The salary is actually meant for the student. Okay, but there are certain cases, for example, research contract. Then there may be certain session that you can allocate for your man hours. And of course, when you are working as a consultancy project for industrial, then you can actually factor in your man hour. So I would say these are the main resources of the income. And of course, if you, let's say you are in a research university, for example, in UTM, from time to time, if let's say you publish a paper, then you can get some incentive as well in terms of paper publication. So I think for this, you can ask Prof. Hadi about the income, the incentive get from the by publishing the Q1 paper. Prof. Hadi.
Yeah, I think my salary as a professor at UTM is more than enough.
Yeah.
Thank you to
So I think
Prof.
these are the things.
Yeah. Thank you to both doctors for sharing. Because this question, I think some of the students might want to know because of money issue. So yeah, that's why we asked this question. So how about Dr. Lee? Do you want to add something about this?
To me, yeah, same with Dr. Lim and Prof. Hadi. Actually, we get the extra income maybe just from the incentive of our publications, especially we have the Q1, Q2 publications, yeah. And of course, I get some consultancy fee, yeah, when I do the consultation with our private industries, but not much for me, maybe a lot for Dr. Lim. All right, no more other extra income for me. All right.
All
Thank
right,
you,
all right.
Roy.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Just now, actually, doctors have actually mentioned the Q1 and Q2, right? We would actually like to know more about this. Actually, can any doctors or Professor Prof. Hadi can explain about this Q1 and Q2? Maybe our listeners would like to know. Yeah.
This is like the stick and carrot. Yeah. So if you have the publication, university give you incentive. Incentive, what does it mean? Yeah, incentive means that the university recognize and make how to say, give you money in order the people see, okay, if we publish that paper in K1, you get 2,000 or 3,000 ringgit, something like that. That is a stick and carrot. Yeah, and it is, I think, that usual and in the business model and the capitalism model.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Hadi, for that. I think I would like to pass back the questions to Jia.
Yeah. I think this is the last question. So before ending our sharing section, do you have any advice for others who want to set off in a similar direction, who want to become a researcher like you? Okay, start from Dr. Lim. Dr. Lim?
Yeah, Jaja, um, thank you for the questions. It's been a long night. My wife is like staggering at me, you know. So thank you for giving me some work-life balance. I very appreciate that. We are able to end the session earlier tonight. So yeah, okay. What was your question? Oh, okay. What is the advice to become a good researcher, right? Yeah, to become a good researcher, I think one fundamental skill need to be mastered is communication, either in writing or orally. Of course, the ideal situation would be having both, you know, writing and also how to communicate. But if you can't speak well, you have to at least write well, because so that your idea could be actually being communicated well through the research proposal when you want to apply the grant. You can write a good paper when you plan to publish. So I think this is something that students definitely need to take note. The good thing is this is something that it can be trained over the time. Okay, just like me myself, I don't think I'm actually a very good writer, but thanks to my supervisors during my PhD time, somehow I'm able to improve my writing skills. Yeah. Okay, Jia.
The communication skill, I think it's also important for our work in the future. So do you want to add more, Prof. Dr. Hadi?
Yeah, just I mentioned previously that the principle of the scientist, the first is that you need to you have the intention. Yeah, this is number one. Number two is that competence and research preparation. What does it mean? Yeah, you must familiar with the basic principles and the concept of the field. Yeah, if you do not know how you can make the research. Yeah, and you need to knowing the field of research and mastering it. And the other thing is that the scientific integrity. It is the most important thing, scientific integrity. Yeah, and this is very important because as a scientist is seeking the truth. Yeah, you need to have that integrity. Yeah, and other thing is that in the research you need to unbiased and make the honest criticism. Yeah, this is what we call the honest intellectual criticism. This is a positive trait of the good researchers. Okay, only that.
Oh, wow. Become a scientist and researcher is not easy. They need to have many kind of skill and then attitudes, something like very positive attitude. How about yours, Dr. Lee?
Yeah, Jaja, I just want to add a little bit more top on Prof. Hadi said just now. Yeah, so basically when we start to do the research, basically you have to ready to read more. Okay, you have to get ready with the literature review. So reading a lot of articles is a must, and then we have to able to identify problems as we are we are searching for the solution to the problem. So I think basically there are some soft skills that we have to master to be a good researcher and good scientist here. All right, chemists have solutions, so get ready with it and try to get to master these important skills when you do your final year project. All right, that's my advice to students as well. Thank you.
Great, thank you, totally. So we will take note it and then we will do it better for our FYP. Is it, Roy?
Yes, yes. Have you guys actually take note of what each doctors and Prof Hadis mentioned just now? So I would like to recap again what doctors and Dr. Lim, Dr. Lee, and also Prof Hadi had actually said just now. So basically, Dr. Lim actually said that the communication skill, the presentation skill is actually very, very important as well. And the writing skill, all right? And also Prof Hadi also mentioned that the most important thing is the intention. The intention is the most important thing to being a scientist, a chemist, a researcher. I think in any job that you do as well, the intention is the most important thing, no matter what the job you're pursuing. So and also
And
Prof
also
Hadi,
focusing.
yeah, focusing, and also Prof Hadi also mentioned the honesty, the scientific integrity. Okay, and you also need to know the principal knowledge and master what you're interested in, like master your field knowledge. And also Dr. Lee mentioned to read more, know more. Okay, so yep, I think that is what I have taken from this advice that just now has been shared by our fellow panels tonight. So Jaja, do you have anything else to ask to add?
I have some question to ask. Maybe we go through the Q&A first, and then I can ask in the Q&A.
All right. So our Q&A session. So I guess we have come to an end to our own questions. So, but we would like to listen to any of the questions that you, the listener, have. So please do type in the comment section below. Due to the limited time, we will only choose the first few questions to answer. So please, get your questions out there so that you can be answered by our very brilliant panel we have tonight. All right. So I think we can start with your question first, Jia, while we wait for some of them to type out the questions. So yes.
Yeah, I have a question about actually I'm thinking I want to pursuing my PhD, pursuing my my study, or I want to go through my work because it's quite difficult for me to choose. So can I hear some opinion from our doctors, our speakers? I think most of us is also thinking want to be a worker or want to pursuing our study. So can we hear about opinions from the Dr. Hadi?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that we need to understand first, because this conversation is about the science, because we are under the Faculty of the Science and we are under the Department of Chemistry. We need to understand who a scientist. This is very important, to see the perspective, how the scientists work. For me, that there are three types of the scientists. Number one is what they call is gatherers. Is only the data collectors. You get the data from the experiment. It is what they call is gatherers. Number two, thinkers. Thinkers. And number three, tinkerers. So, for example, that for the gatherers, there is one of the Professor Kung Fung from the USM. This is just data collectors because his field is the crystallography. Crystallographers. Just you analyze the crystal structure and you can get published. This is just data collectors. Thinkers. Thinkers, for example, is Stephen Hawking. You know this Stephen Hawking? Is thinkers, It's just think. and formulate the, how to say, the problem. For example, that the black hole, something like that. And the tinkerers. Tinkerers is that, macam mana bahasa Melayu itu? Tukang, ya. So there is a experiment. So a good scientist is one who has this three types of the character. Okay, so you need to think that, yeah, of the, if you want to become a scientist, I think that's very, very interesting. As a human, we can have such kind of the ability. Yeah, you have the getterers, you have the thinkers and the tinkerers. So for me, that you already at university and you have the chosen one. Yeah, it's very difficult to enter UTM, I know. So that you have the ability, and I think that the career as a scientist in the future, I think is very, very bright. Yeah, we need, I think if you hear the, how to say, the statistic, in Malaysia, we need to have more scientists. And for me, that if you want to become good scientists, we need to have the good feeders, brilliant students. Yeah, I think that is the spirit. Yeah, if you want to go to this field, I think that you serve to the nation, very, very big opportunity. That is my comment. Yeah, Jaja.
Wow, that's very opened my mind. Because as a scientist, I need to have three skills, as a doctor said, gatherer, thinker, and tinker. Wow, this very environment. And then how about yours, Dr. Lee?
Hi, Jaja. I thought you asked us about how to choose, right? Whether you want to further study
Yeah.
or maybe you want to go to your industry. Actually, from my experience, if you want to continue your career in industry, maybe it could be better for you to do it after your bachelor. You have after you have PhD, definitely you will stand a good chance to be a researcher in industry or even in our academic institutes. But the fact here is, even though we said that we need more scientists in Malaysia to develop our country, our beautiful country, but the fact here is, feedback from my students and my postgraduate students, actually not easy to get the researchers post in the industry, as they prefer to have the bachelor graduate students and then they try and get in the industry. I mean, maybe we'll get better chance nowadays, since more international companies, they will have their R&D departments in their company. All right, so it again depends on your intention. All right, so if you want to go to the academic path, definitely I think it could be good if you can further study in master PhDs. But if you think that you prefer to continue a career path industry, maybe you can think about it. Maybe you can just continue it without further study your master PhD. But I think again, it's up to you. Maybe you can discuss with your PA or maybe your parents before you make the decision. It could be a very important decision for you after your bachelor graduation. All right. Thank you, Jaja.
Right,
I hope
thank
I have
you,
answered
Dr.
your
Lee.
answer. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Lee. I will take note. How about you, Dr. Lim?
Jaja, actually, I'm facing the same kind of dilemma as well when I just finished my degree that time. Because you see, I've been offered a PhD position, but at the same time, I feel like I want to work in industry to get some experience. So I actually went for several interviews, one even in Singapore. That one not so well. I think I didn't do it. I screwed it out, the interview. I didn't do it very well. But there's another one as a consultant in Kuala Lumpur. I think I performed it quite well. But somehow I didn't, because the job actually required a several round interview. I passed the first 2 rounds, then I decided I just want to continue study, so I reject for that one. So again, when making the decision, I think everyone are different. You really like totally mentioned, right? You really have to think about it thoroughly. Because there's a lot of things that you need to think about in terms of financial, in terms of your commitment, because everyone, the situation are different. You need to think about, do you have, like, for example, do you have any, is your family depends on you very critically, or you actually have the luxury to actually further study for another few more years before you work on. And the prospect of different industrial are different as well. I can honestly tell you, for example, being a UTM lecturer, right? Even lecturer, do you know what's the starting pay right now? Lecturer, you have any idea? I think
Maybe
how much you
above
guess?
maybe above 3,000.
3,000.
Is it? Is it? I
3,000.
don't know.
I think back to the old days, yes, but I think nowadays it generally has increased over the years. I think now it's about 6,000 or 7,000
Wow.
after consider the allowance.
Wow.
Yeah, but it might sound very high to you, but again, it depends on different field, because some field, for example, our country is a very special country. We have our neighbor country just beside us, Singapore. You also need to think about it. If a fresh grad go to Singapore, right, you easily can earn about 3K, you know, 2.5K, 3K, and you are able to save more money. Okay, I'm not talking about conversion, I'm just talking about the ability to save money or whatsoever. So what I'm trying to highlight here is something that the reality checking that you need to check, because I think Prof. Hadi just now has mentioned about the novelty part in terms of being the scientist. So what I want to highlight to here is something that we have to do some reality checking about the financial, you know, the current market situations. And I think it's also important to find a good supervisors. For example, Prof. Hadi or Totally, right? Those are the person that you may want to talk to them, you know, in person, to see what they can offer you. Maybe they can even offer you a good scholarship or whatsoever, right? Yeah. So, Jia, think twice.
Yeah. I might think. I will think now. Okay, now let's move on to another Q&A question. So this question is from Rowin. Hi doctor, may I know, will it be expensive if we want to further our studies, or is there any scholarship provided either by company or school? Want to start first? Maybe Dr. Hadi can start first.
Yeah. If the lecturer have the research grant, yeah, they can pay for the tuition fee and also allowance, yeah, and depend on the lecturers. Yeah, Dr. Leah. So
Yeah,
you need
betul. I pay to them. Yeah, betul.
So how much, Dr. Lee, you pay?
Yeah, because not much now, right? Usually for PhD is about 2K per month, and master is 1.5K per month.
Yeah, yeah.
Depends
correct.
on the grade. Yeah.
Wow. So there's many scholarship provided for the students who want to further their study. Is it?
Yeah. As long as we have the grants, we are willing to pay them. Right. Actually, students can also apply the scholarship from UTM. UTM have some special scholarship for our students like Zamala, but maybe just pay for the tuition fee. For example, there are some terms and conditions apply, but there are some, or maybe from the MOHE, Ministry of Education, especially for those have good results. Yeah, the chance is quite high actually to get the scholarship from the government. Otherwise, we pay them using our research grant. It's quite common in our department as well. Yep, Jaja.
Wow, that's very Because UTM vision visi and misi is kerana Tuhan untuk manusia. So I think that's very quite how to say Roy?
Yes.
How
It's
to
quite
say? Because because when I first look on this visi and misi kerana Tuhan untuk manusia, I think that that's very wow, amazing. Because lecturer is willing to help and we have to contribute to
Yeah.
the society, is it?
Yeah, I think it's also going back to the Prof. Hadi's intention right there.
Yeah.
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 So I think we will move on to the next question. So thank you all the doctors for sharing. As a researcher, I see the other question from Taswin. As a researcher, have you been stuck while researching? What do you do about it? I think just now our panel has already answered this because they said that it is mostly about the grant, I guess, and then yeah, and also the apparatus, the instruments, and all that. So yeah, does any of the doctors still wants to add anything on that? Okay, I guess yeah, Prof.
No,
Okay,
no.
so okay, we'll go to the next question. Hi, doctor. Is it hard to become a lecturer in IPTA? From Matthew. I guess that also answered by Dr. Lee as well, and then all of our fellow panels as well. It's very, very difficult to manage the time and all that. Also, if you're like Dr. Lee also becoming the consultant, and also Prof. Hadi also has a lot of things going on. Dr. Lee also has a lot of things going on, and also 5 children. So it is very, very hard to become a lecturer, I guess. Anything else to add from our panels?
Yeah, this is true. Because if you want to become the full professor at UTM, you need to fulfill 7 criteria. 7P. Siapa lupa apa 7P itu, Li? P pertama apa, Li?
Pengajaran,
Pengajaran,
penyelidikan,
uh-uh,
perkhidmatan kepada masyarakat.
uh-uh.
7
ya? Yeah.
7P.
Penerbitan.
Penerbitan, yeah.
What else?
Penyeliaan.
Penyeliaan. So many things. You need to fulfill all. If you fulfill all the 7, you can upgrade it to become associate professor, to become full professor. Yeah. You need to fulfill all. Yeah. Jadi perlu ada hijau semua. Kalau misalnya satu jadi merah, dia tak boleh naik. That is, I think that the requirement, yeah, as a lecturer, yeah, to become the full professor at university is now at UTM, especially quite tough.
All right, thank you for the information shared by our lecturers. Wow, that is very, very interesting and very informative. All right, let's move on to the next question. Greetings to all doctors and both moderators. May I ask usually how many members will be working under a research team? And if I'm not mistaken, there are 4 panels to be chosen by undergraduates of UTM FS of chemistry department before starting the final year project. So is there any advice for some of us students that are still not sure which field to choose from Li Xuan Ying? Yeah, any doctors would like to start first?
Li, jawab Li.
Okay, saya jawab ya. Understanding ya, your question, how to choose. Actually, for the final year project, your students, you will be given one form to choose which panel that you are interested in. For example, maybe you are quite interested in organic panel or in organic field. Yeah, so you have to fill in the form. But in the end, actually, you'll be given, okay, based on, I mean, the departments will do the decision for which panel that you will go to. But the thing here is, basically, when you do you make a choice, basically it's based on the past 3 years, right? When you study your department, okay, maybe you get know of one lecturer. Maybe most of the time, I understand that students will choose based on the lecturers, okay, but not on the field. But to me, it's not very important. Just like me, the example from me. Actually, when I did my final year project is something related to the absorption. but when I did my PhD, it's something related to the ionic conductors. All right. And when I do my research as a lecturer here, I'm doing something different again, is catalyst. So the thing here is how you're going to get the chance to master the skills, maybe the instrumental skills of some other important soft skills during your final year project. So don't be too sad if you choose your panel. For example, you prefer physical chemistry, but you are not given that. All right. But anyway, please try to do the best for final year project, and then you can continue with your PhD or master studies if you want. And at that time, you can really choose whatever you like. Okay, that's my answer. Right. Okay. Thank you,
Thank you,
Shen Ying.
Dr. Lee.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Lee, and thank you, Shen Ying, for the question. So we arrive at our last question. What research do you expect to see in the future from the younger generation? Okay, so I think we are open to any doctors who would like to answer this. Or Prof. Hadi, you would like to go first?
Yeah, I think that in Malaysia, we are lack of the scientists. Yeah, scientists working on the fundamental science. That is lack. So currently, I'm the director of the Ibnu Sina Institute for Scientific Industrial Research. Previously, the name is the Ibnu Sina Institute for Fundamental Science Studies. Why we put that name? Because we lack of the fundamental scientists in Malaysia. If you look at the advanced countries, you can see that is very, very important. Yeah, the fundamental science. Yeah, because all the engineering, yeah, and the technology is supported by the fundamental science. That is we lack, and also we lack of the lecturers working on the fundamental science currently at our department, and also I think in Malaysia. So if you want to pursue this direction, is become good, yeah, for the nation, yeah, become good, but quite difficult. You can imagine that Stephen Hawking, something like that is a fundamental science. Yeah.
Yes.
Many people interested, but not be able to pursue this direction because the needs mathematics very strong. Yeah, mathematics, and also the deep thinking, yeah, is totally different compared to the engineering. Okay, that is my comment.
All right, thank you, Prof. Hadi. I think sadly our Q&A session would have to end here. So thank you all for the questions. We will try to answer more of your burning questions in our future events. Okay, so we are also almost coming to an end for this event. So now we would like to present our certificate of appreciation to all of our beloved speakers for taking their precious time in the weekend. Sorry, Dr. Lim, and and also Dr. Lee and also Prof. Hadi as well. So thank you all for taking your precious time in joining us tonight. So first of all, we would like to present the certificate of appreciation to Prof. Dr. Hadi Noor. Thank you so much, Prof, for sharing your experience with us tonight.
Thank you.
Hadi. All right, next up.
Next, we would like to present the second token of appreciation for you, Dr. Lee, our beautiful doctor. Please accept with our sincere thanks. Thank you so much, Dr. Lee.
Thank you very much for the committee. Thank you.
Lastly, we have our last token of appreciation for our handsome Dr. Lim. Thank you so much, Dr. Lim.
Thank you, Jaja. Thank you, Roy, for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you too. We really appreciate the advice from Prof. Dr. Hadi, Dr. Lee, and Dr. Lim. Thank you, three of our speakers, for an enlightening and presentation and advice.
All right. Thank you, Jaja, for the certificate of appreciation presentation. So now, as also the director of this event tonight, I would like to thank all of the committees for their hard work in making this event a success. So next, to commemorate this moment, let us have a photography session with all of our respected guests and committees. I will let our technical team, Hakim, to lead this section. All right, Hakim?
Okay.
All right.
Let's open the camera.
All right. Amira, are you there?
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
let us.
So,
Okay, thank you.
right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you, Hakim. All right. So finally, our FB Live, the research path, has come to an end. So we thank you all from our hearts for your patience in staying until the very end with us, especially beautiful and handsome panel. The last attendance code for the event will be announced in the comment section below. So please remember to fill out the forms that will only be open for 10 minutes from now on. Your e-certificate and for UTM students, your merits as well. So we sincerely apologize should there be any technical issues offended any parties during the preparation phase and also this event night. So we hope you had a wonderful time and had taken away a lot of knowledge and experience from our respected panels, just like we do.
Yeah, do remember to like and subscribe our ACS UTM Facebook page and Instagram page.
Yes, my name is Roy.
My name is Jia, and we
we
hope
hope to
to
see
see
you
you
next
time.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
all.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, thank you.
Again.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care all.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Hopefully not on Friday night. Bye. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Jaja. Have a wonderful
Thank
weekend.
you,
Bye.
Dr. Lim.
Thank you,
Bye
Dr. Lim.
bye.
Have a wonderful
Bye.
weekend as well. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Jaja, as well. Yeah, thank you
Thank
to
you,
all
Dr.
the
Lee.
organizing committee. You have done a good job. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Have a wonderful
Thank
weekend.
you.
Yeah, same to you. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.